Hey guys, how's it going? This is Burkart from Car Revs Daily. We are driving around in the 2014 Chevy Silverado 1500 double cab, and it's New Year's Day right now, and it's a blizzard in Chicago. It's really snowy. So definitely not the ideal time to take a video, but you know, they're never really, you know, there isn't really a set formula for these. So I just wanted to take a video of the Silverado in the snow, because it has been pretty good. This truck is a V6 and a 4x2, so it's the most affordable Silverado in the lineup, and looks awesome, and has, you know, it looks really cool from the outside, but the 4x2 thing is definitely a little bit more of a struggle for when it's really snowy. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's so I've been driving it in I had it in manual 1 right there, but the car, like I said, does have a limited slip differential, and then of course this new like Bosch 6 or something, whatever they call the new stability and traction control systems, which are much better at sort of like getting you moving versus when I was driving around a little bit earlier with the traction control off. I could barely get the truck, you know, to start rolling and going in the right direction. Whereas with the traction control on, you know, it definitely takes a little bit of time, and you can feel the limited slip shuffling around. But I mean, it's really snowy. They think we got 8 inches of snow, and with more on the way. I mean, it's still snowing right now, but you know, the Silverado is so cool. I mean, I feel really awesome driving it, and I sort of get the truck thing now. So look, I'm in like a middle seating position, but yesterday when I was adjusting it to get comfortable, look how low you can go at the seat, which is really like a kind of like a pretty badass, because there's a huge truck around you, but it really drives nicely. It has the new steering wheel, which has like, which I think I've said this before, but it's, you know, it's based on the design in the Corvette, and it has a much stronger steel rim for the steering wheel itself. So, and that makes a huge difference versus some of the classic GM steering wheels. And it's also wrapped in leather, even on this really cheap Silverado. I mean, in December they had a special on this car. It was the Silverado All-Star, and I think it was $6,000 off, like and which took the price to somewhere in the neighborhood of $23,000. I could be wrong, but I think it was about 23 grand. And for that price, I mean, 6-lug, 18-inch rims, big chunky tires. You know, the only thing we're missing obviously is 4-wheel drive, and then some kind of upgraded engine. But this car actually, you know, I'm going to show you in another video in a few days, so hopefully when it stops snowing. It's pretty quick. I mean, it has the new 6-speed automatic, so when you slam your foot on the floor, it downshifts and creates that big drama moment of like the inertia of surging forward, which, you know, all GM trucks have, you know, that's been a highlight of many GM trucks for a long time. Even that old, I think of my friend's old 3-speed Suburban. It was with 3-speed automatic, like a 1990 Suburban or something. You know, and it had this, it would downshift from 3rd to 2nd, and it would be like, you know, and the car would roar forward. It was ridiculous. But this car is obviously much more refined, but it still has a little bit of character also to the way the engine growls. So this is a 4.3 liter V6, and it's pretty good at this point. Let's do a little defrost. We've got a MyLink control here with navigation and backup camera, which are optional features. But in terms of let's just imagine this was as base truck as you could get. You know, they used to call it the WT truck, the work truck. I mean, this is really good. If this is the stuff that's coming in the base models, I'm pretty impressed. This is like a damped sort of effect. 12 volt. Oh no, it's got twin USBs right there, and then some other plugs and stuff. The cabin is pretty good. I've got groceries in the back seat. Got like a little sunglasses holder there. Automatic lights, and you know, it has GM cars, or I guess all American cars, or most new cars I should say, are coming with satellite radio. And as somebody who never really liked satellite radio, or didn't understand why people were willing to pay anything for it, I I like it now. So I listen to comedy channels, and it's great. It's just, and it's totally disgusting. They have some really racy content on like the Howard Stern one and everything. It's so that's good. They're sort of making the most of their non-spectrum. They don't have to go by the rules. But the Silverado V6 really is impressive. So one more thing I'll mention while we're driving around the snowstorm. And it's totally fine. I mean, I could be driving anywhere. It could be Arizona right now, but it's really, because this car is pretty plush, and it is extremely refined, and I feel like there's so obviously GM has made a big point about the new doors and how that has affected NVH and isolation on the highway, and I feel like they've done a really good job in terms of blanketing like the whole front end. There's like almost no sort of engine clatter whatsoever, or any engine, bad engine noises that might have come through before, just because it's so well isolated. So that's like on the firewall has these like mats of quiet steel, which is like two pieces of steel with rubber in between them, and then they look like molten rubber. So that's pretty good, and it works well. But I did notice that on the highway there's a little bit of singing from like the rear tires or the rear wheel wells, or somewhere in that region. So obviously it's not a big deal, but I mean, this is, I'm like I really like super quiet cars sometimes, so I can be attuned to that a little bit better. To give you a point of what I'm talking about, when I was riding around in the Rolls-Royce Wraith with Dr. Philip Hartnett from Rolls-Royce Motor Cars, who was the lead vehicle engineer, we got back in, after taking pictures, when I was driving this time, so I was like super nervous. This car is like 380 grand. And we're driving around, and I heard like a whistling. I was like, something is wrong. So I kept like trying to close all the windows and everything, but all the windows were already shut. It was just like whistling from the mirrors or something. And the guy who was so charming and so nice was said there were a few more revisions with the seals and stuff like that, but so I'm not just complaining for no reason. I just wanted to note how well it's isolated in the front, whereas the back obviously is really light in this sort of pickup truck. It's good. So the traction control just does its thing and like gets you up to speed much more effectively than I anticipated. And then it also has, so you flip it into manual, and then it has trailer controls, but then from the manual, when it's in its manual setting, the column shifter now has plus and minus we're going down to first, so it's engine braking, so then I go to second, third, so that lets me drive around with it just starting in third gear, which provides plenty of torque to get moving, but doesn't spin the wheels as eagerly as it would if it were just in drive. And it also has trailer modes over here with it has a few trailer modes, and then it also has trailer lighting settings, and a couple and some sophisticated programming in here. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. It's a blizzard. I'm hoping that I can get my groceries back in my house, and I hope you guys had a great New Year. And go out and if you're east of here, you should go out and get some supplies now, because it's really, really snowy in Chicago, and that snow is coming to you. All right, have a great day. This has been Tom Burkart for Car Revs Daily. Oh, should we try to go up this hill? I'm in M3. I'm going to go back to drive. This is an unplanned. So here in M3, it couldn't do it, but now it's with everything's on, so my foot is just pretty hard on the floor, and it's sort of doing as much as it can and shuffling torque back and forth to get me up that hill, which I saw some people stuck at when I was on my way to the grocery store. So that's pretty good. It kind of proved me wrong. I mean, maybe you could of course use the M settings and be able to control it like that pretty easily, but the truck is pretty good even without it. All right, well, take it easy, guys.